Hey, thanks for joining us today for our session on how systems are empowering business continuity. We'll hear from True Protein, who have kindly offered to share some of their learnings. My name is Matthew Owens. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing at Annexa. Annexa are Oracle NetSuite implementation partners. We really support Australian organisations implement NetSuite, ERP, CRM, e-commerce, and systems integration. Family-owned business. We've been in operation for 30 years and we're located around the country in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane. Really proud to support some leading Australian brands, including today's guest speakers, True Protein. Keen to hear the story. So positioning for Oracle NetSuite. NetSuite is a market-leading cloud ERP and CRM provider. And NetSuite is the core application that underpins Annexa's customised technology stack. In terms of relevance for the audience today, we work really closely with CFOs. In terms of our discussions and workings with CFOs, we're really able to get a good understanding of some of the business drivers and really appreciate how critical the role of the CFO is when it comes to the adoption and overall success of ERP. So for today, obviously joined by one of our great customers in True Protein. So True are an Australian online retailer. They offer health food supplements, apparel and accessories. These guys have got an amazing story and are a great bunch of people to partner with. So welcoming Lachie Cornwell, Chief Financial and Operations Officer at True. Lachie has been really pivotal in working with Annexa on the implementation of NetSuite, and over the past 18 months has really been critical in getting all the finance and operational systems going and adopted. Welcome, Lachie. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate your time.
Obviously, Matt. Yeah, good to chat.
Thanks, mate. The session's focused on you, True Protein, and your learning. So, we'll get right into it.
Great. Yeah, I guess beginning with the True story, really was born out of a bit of a frustration of a family here in the Northern Beaches. They're all sort of passionate fitness people, and I think probably 5 or 6 years ago, we're pretty disappointed at the range of sort of poor tasting and poor quality protein powders that were sort of available. So they sort of made it their immediate MO to cut through what is a pretty saturated market, I would say, to try and create something that was authentic, all natural protein-based products that really deliver, genuine health benefits with none of the false promises that you're often accustomed with this industry sometimes. So, and I think that message still really resonates quite strongly with all of our customers to this day. As time's gone on, the company's expanded its offering beyond just protein to sort of include a broader range of health, performance, and immunity-related products. And that's really the true story. I think that the company's success, it's always been predicated on that all natural, premium grade products, and also having complete transparency with our customers when it comes to the ingredients we use. I can say from personal experience that the owners of the business, they truly care about making people's lives as fulfilled and as enriched as they can be, and they live, eat and breathe this stuff every day, and they never compromise when it comes to quality. So I think that's probably a quick spin through the history of where we're at to this point.
Cool. And so in terms of the way the business is structured and your position in the market on the back of your growth, are you able to kind of give us some detail around where you're at now on that journey to date?
Yeah, yep. So True still is a family-owned business, and we manufacture and distribute all our products from our facility here on the Northern Beaches. I guess the focus of the business in its sort of seminal years was more around the domestic market. But recently we've been expanding into other international markets, most notably New Zealand, Asia, and more recently also in the US. In terms of market position and the growth story itself, I think that, as I sort of mentioned off the top, that the main drivers for us has always been that being that lifestyle brand that sort of offers premium products and a premium customer experience, and sort of staying true to our core values, which is very much rooted in the quality of everything we do and the efficacy of what we do. It is a crowded industry, but I got to say, the guys here have never been too concerned about competitors, dictating where we sort of sit in the market. We've sort of been running our own race and tried to sort of carve out our own niche, via the innovation and the products that we offer. I think one thing I would say is, as a digital brand, in particular an online retailer that is set up for scale, it can be easy to sort of lose focus on having those genuine relationships with customers. But for the guys here, that's always been a really key tenet, to keep those community connections strong. Whether that's through event sponsorship, the way that we interact with customers via social media and digital, or via our network of sponsored athletes, things like the car competition, the car giveaway. It's really all about a positive experience for the customer, and obviously they are always number one. And I think that's been our differentiator and really the genesis of our growth.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely a great story, and comes through in discussions with the guys. Absolutely. So turning to strategy and the journey with NetSuite, ERP, how has that sort of set you guys up for, business continuity given the current state of market?
Yeah, it's been a wild couple of months, hasn't it? I guess against the sort of backdrop of CV19, like all organisations, ourselves included, I think are at a pretty critical juncture when it comes to how the decisions that you make during a period of uncertainty are going to affect the road that lies ahead for you. There's lots of variables that go into a strategic decision, and every business is going to be different in terms of the way that they navigate a black swan type event like COVID. Things like your capital structure, access to liquidity, probably above all the technology platforms that you've got in place in order to get reliable information, to really make swift decisions that are going to ultimately drive how you respond to these things. But I think sort of my personal view on this is that there's going to be two pretty stark strategic options, and we've discussed both of them at length here at True with respect to continuity. You're going to have the sort of option A business, which is the one that I guess has to assume a defensive stance, and that they're going to measure their success based on implementing a survival strategy, right? And that's sort of a wait and see type approach to managing through a crisis. Or you've got the option B business, which I guess is the organisation that's probably a little bit more data and tech savvy, perhaps, and take a more offensive stance. And that might be looking at short to medium term opportunities to invest in ideas, new products, even people, ahead of what you would anticipate to be quite a rapid upswing, once COVID-19 and all the issues that it's brought are sort of behind us. And at True, we're very much a sort of, I guess you'd say, an option B business. I think, and one of the key catalysts for that, from a CFO's perspective at least, is being able to quickly access, disseminate information to our teams and to leadership, so that everyone can activate strategy in an efficient and confident way, and everyone's part of that process. There's a lot of conversations, I would imagine, going on behind closed doors at a time like this, but we've really tried to involve all of our staff in all the decisions we're making, and take suggestions and hints and advice from them as well. And I think that's been a very positive way of dealing with the crisis. One of the big issues for us was actually whether or not we would continue on with the implementation of NetSuite. But we surveyed our staff, and they responded very positively to continuing on with the project. And we're very glad that we consulted with them and did that, because we're now in a great position, I think, set up for what lies ahead.
Great. No, that's really good to hear that the teams are confident in terms of the benefits that some of the technology can bring. So in your role, CFO role, what are you seeing the tooling enabling you to do differently at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, so many things. Probably the top thing for me is time. Having an ERP like NetSuite in place, it's a bit like having access to the keys of the DeLorean or something, because what it allows me to do is evolve the role that I and my team can play, beyond that sort of traditional bean counting, purely risk focused duties of a CFO and a finance function, towards one where, whilst those things are still important and still take place, that the finance function also becomes a very much a genuine partner of other parts of the business, whether that's marketing, product development, our warehouse team. All of these guys are facing different challenges that coronavirus has thrown up, and trying to navigate those things. So having more bandwidth to be able to assist during a period of uncertainty has been very much a valuable, a valuable piece to this whole puzzle that we're sort of working through. If I look at the hours we used to dedicate to, the manual, menial sort of stuff that we do at month end, cash flow forecasting, supply chain analysis, that's been drastically reduced by having this single source of truth for our data. And as I said, that frees up the finance function to be in the business, and to really assist with problem solving, being strategically, innovative across our entire value chain. And it's really the ERP that's allowing us to do that. The second point probably is it's linked to the first, and whilst it is cliched, it is absolutely the truth for us. It's being data enabled so that we can be agile. NetSuite integrated quite beautifully with some of the other business systems that we're also using here, and as an aggregator of data, it really moved us from a world where, we lacked faith in certain information we were getting because it's coming from disparate systems all over the place, to a world where we've got great confidence about, decision making based on that single source of truth. I can quickly sort of quantify the financial impacts of operational change that's going on around us as a result of COVID, and that allows me to sort of connect, managing a balance sheet with all the underlying things that are going on from an operational standpoint, be that, behaviours of people in the business, decisions that they're making to try and drive, better financial outcomes for the business. So, yeah, on the whole, it has been a great tool for us. The other thing I'd throw in there as well is actually just this working from home situation. It's been very, very user friendly in terms of having people access the platform remotely. And that connects us, in a way that we've never had before. So, yeah, all in all, it's been very positive thus far.
Awesome. That's good. Yeah, I know that we'd be pretty lost without, our kind of cloud application stack to run our business as well. So definitely can appreciate that. So the implementation is pretty fresh for you guys. You mentioned it's just sort of in motion now and things have been phased out in terms of the deployment. So, in terms of the audience, do you want to share some learnings around your journey from the implementation perspective?
Yeah, I mean, we've learned a lot from this process, and it sort of goes back to that point I mentioned earlier about getting everyone involved and getting everyone's buy-in. I think, the number one learning really is that with any business system implementation, never make assumptions about its capability off the bat. Sometimes the simplest and most obvious benefits that you think you're going to derive from a particular system may not actually eventuate for you if you don't scope out your project properly and really think deeply about what it is that you want the system to do for you and what you're trying to achieve. And that probably dovetails quite nicely into the second learning, which is that it's essential to have a partner, that you really trust and has the expertise to make the capabilities of a system come to life and make them a reality for you. And that, I guess, extends beyond just the implementation piece, but post go live, where your teams are grappling with teething issues and new learnings. It's really important to have that partner with you that's going to sort of stand beside you and really make sure that the change is a positive one for everyone in the business. And I can say, Annexa very much played that role for us in this journey. I speaking to a few colleagues, I actually have heard some horror stories, which is unfortunate in the COVID period, where people have been going through various system implementations, and unfortunately, their partners that they've been working with have fallen by the wayside due to the virus, and it's left them in a very difficult position in terms of the capital spend and not being able to actually action that spend and actually start generating some ROI off the back of it. So make sure you know your partner well and you trust them and your values are aligned. And then I think probably the final one would be just that suggestion to sort of think beyond what your immediate requirements are. And I'm talking even beyond a sort of 12, 24-month period. What is it that you want the business to look like, and what is it you want the business to be able to do, in 5, 10 years' time? I think to really achieve sustainable long-term growth, you've got to constantly look at different ways that you can punch above your weight, particularly in the online space. It's very easy to go from being, a market leader to a dinosaur if you're not constantly thinking, 2-3 steps ahead. And businesses don't grow when things are easy. Sometimes you just have to take a bit of financial risk and do it sensibly to get the outcomes that you're looking for. So they're probably the three key things that I've learned from this process. But all in all, it's been really fantastic for our business, and I know the owners of the business and all our people are very, very happy.
Awesome. No, I really appreciate the insight, Lachie. I'm sure the audience here pick up a lot of good insights from what you shared. Please do check out True Protein. Check out the brand if you haven't heard of True. A great story, a great product as well. If you've got any questions on the back of today's session, please email us and reach out directly. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Lachie.
Cheers. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.